Hi, this is Trevor with Embers Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. Today what we're going to show you is how to install an electric fireplace where we're going to flush mount it and build it into a wall. So we're in the basement here. You can see we have our wall prepped and ready. We're going to go through the steps of how we can cut into the wall, insert and flush mount our electric fireplace. One tip to keep in mind though is you're going to want to consult a professional before you cut into the walls and make sure your wall is not load bearing. If you have a load bearing wall, it's obviously not something you wouldn't want to be cutting into. So we'll go through the steps. The first thing we're going to do is mark out exactly where we're going to be cutting out our drywall, because that's our first step, is to cut out our drywall neat and clean to make sure we're not cutting into any electrical wires. So we're going to mark out where our fireplace cutout is going to be now. We're doing the Napoleon Allure 60-inch series, so hopefully this helps you at home kind of understand the steps we're going through. So now we've marked out where our fireplace opening is going to go. And again, this is going to vary depending on the fireplace you get, how wide and how tall the fireplace that you get. And again, we want to be mindful. We're going to be really neat and clean with our cutouts because we don't want to have any painting or drywall repairs. And that's the point in this video, is to be able to do this and retrofit it in without any messy drywall or paint repair. So we're going to be really neat and clean as we cut out our drywall, and that's why we're so exact on marking out our fireplace opening. So now we're going to go ahead and cut our drywall out. Okay, so now we've taken our drywall off. You can see we used a Roto-Zip drill bit and just did a nice clean line all the way along our marker where our fireplace cutout is. So now this is where our fireplace is going to insert in the wall. We also used a shop vac along with it to minimize the dust. That's a helpful tip. Maybe keep a shop vac handy. So now we see our next step. We made sure we have no wires in the way, so electrical wires are not going to be an issue now that our drywall is off. But we do need to get rid of these studs. So again, this is where it's important to make sure this is not a load-bearing wall, because if it is, you can't be cutting into studs like this. So we'll go ahead and remove these studs now, which is our next step to kind of give us a fully open cavity here. As you can see, what we did is we used a handsaw and we cut out our two studs here. The reason we used a handsaw is you can see we have a exposed drywall on the other side, so we didn't want to use a power tool, and we wanted to be careful to cut into the drywall on the other side, because again, the idea here is to create as minimum amount of repair work as possible so we can get a true retrofit into the wall. One thing that we did is sometimes when you cut into wall, plans can change based on what you find. We do have a stud 1.5 inches away, so instead of cutting this out and moving this over just an 1.5 inches, we're actually going to leave this and make this our new starting point for our fireplace, because our glass trim is going to cover this gap anyways, and just shift the whole fireplace over. That way we have one stud already in place. So now what we're going to do is put a couple stud fillers here and here, and along the side and along the top, to kind of re-support this wall, and then also give us anchors where we can screw the fireplace into. So you can see we pretty much have an open cavity with minimal work and minimum mess as far as getting this set up. So we'll go ahead and brace it up with our studs now. So now you can see we have our box made. We put a 2x4 border all the way around, so now we have an exact opening that we need to insert our fireplace. The fireplace is going to stick out about a 1/2 inch or so, so we're going to put a few shims on our 2x4s. That way we can put our box in and then screw it right to the wall. So now our fireplace is secured to the wall. All the construction is pretty much done. We have a couple things left to do. We have to put our glass media in here, and then one thing we haven't talked about is electrical. So there is an electrical cord that comes with the fireplace. In this particular install setting, it does come with cord covers, so we're going to just install it, and since there's an outlet right below the fireplace, we're just simply going to plug it in. If you desire to, you can hire an electrician and have the unit actually hardwired, so you're not going to have any cords visible. So two install options. One requires an electrician to hardwire, the other one you can just plug in directly. So we'll go ahead and dress it out now. so now you can see we have everything done. We put on our finishing glass. It's totally finished all the way around. We went ahead and just plugged it in. That way we didn't have to hardwire and hire an electrician. We'll turn it on. This Napoleon does have touchscreen options as well as handheld remote control. And you can see we have a totally finished product. Now this type of installation would really apply to a variety of brands, our Napoleon, Dimplex, Monty, and some of our wall mount Modern Flames units. You can do this and do a flush mount install yourself with minimal to no touch-up work. You can see we don't really have much drywall to touch up, no really painting, touching up. We pretty much have a finished product. It took us about an hour and a half or so to do it from beginning to end. So there are various features with a electric fireplace. This one has a heater in the middle. If you have any questions, you can call or text our staff with any install help at 805-952-5440, or check out all of these products on our website at www.blazingembers.com. Thanks a lot for checking out this video. Hi, this is Trevor with Embers Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. Today what we're going to show you is how to install an electric fireplace where we're going to flush mount it and build it into a wall. So we're in the basement here. You can see we have our wall prepped and ready. We're going to go through the steps of how we can cut into the wall, insert and flush mount our electric fireplace. One tip to keep in mind though is you're going to want to consult a professional before you cut into the walls and make sure your wall is not load bearing. If you have a load bearing wall, it's obviously not something you wouldn't want to be cutting into. So we'll go through the steps. The first thing we're going to do is mark out exactly where we're going to be cutting out our drywall, because that's our